another government entity deciding Roblox is the villain of the year. So, Los Angeles County just filed a lawsuit. Georgia launched a full investigation, and at this point, Roblox has more legal enemies than most actual criminals. I mean, really. So, yeah, let's get into it. And don't forget to subscribe for good luck. Yes. So, two things happened basically. Los Angeles County, not the city, it's county, because apparently the county has beef too, dropped an 82-page civil lawsuit against Roblox. 82 pages, longer than most college dissertations. And the state of Georgia opened a formal investigation through their attorney general, demanding a mountain of internal documents on child safety and moderation. So the LA lawsuit covers what you'd expect if you've been following this stuff for a while. Condo games, bathroom simulators, adults posing as kids. Roblox allegedly prioritizing gross numbers over actually protecting anyone. That's what they claim. And their response was the corporate equivalent of a shrug, saying, "We dispute the claims and will defend vigorously." Stunning. Meanwhile, Georgia is demanding abuse reports, moderation records, parental control audits, age verification procedures, and documentation on the interactions between adults and children across platforms. Basically, Florida subpoena, but with a Southern accent. Now, most of the 82 pages is stuff we've heard before, and I'm not gonna recite it. Not reading all that for a YouTube video. Nobody's paying me enough for that. But two things buried in there actually stood out. So, in those files, page 56 mentions the Family Online Safety Institute CEO publicly endorsing Roblox's safety updates in late 2024. Sounds fine, right? Guess what? Roblox's own VP of Civility and Partnerships is also the chairman of the board for the same organization, which is the Family Online Safety Institute. So, he's basically complimenting himself. The independent safety group endorsing Roblox is literally chaired by a Roblox executive. That's not a conflict of interest. That's just grading your own exam. Then page 37 brings up something genuinely interesting. So anytime anything happens to a child that puts them at risk is one too many. Great quote. Very press release friendly. Except the lawsuit digs up a private statement he made to investors in 2020, admitting they cannot prevent all such interactions from taking place. And honestly, that quote is just true, because no platform can prevent everything. But saying one thing publicly and a completely different thing behind closed doors privately to people with money and investors is exactly the kind of gap attorney generals love finding. Okay, here's where I say something that's going to make some people uncomfortable. So, Roblox has genuine moderation failures, worth criticizing and worth litigating. Sure, none of that is up to debate. But this whole wave of lawsuits is starting to feel like parents are outsourcing their responsibility to a tech company and then suing when the tech company doesn't fully replace actual parenting. Roblox is a platform where a 10-year-old can talk to literally anyone on the planet. Any adult anywhere can make an account and be in the same virtual space as your child within 4 minutes. This has never been hidden. I mean, that's just how the internet works, okay? So, and yet every time something goes wrong, the surprise is directed entirely at the app, the company, and never at the decision to hand an unsupervised kid a device with zero chicken. So the LA lawsuit calls Roblox's safety fixes obvious, easy, and long overdue. Some of them are genuinely true. And Roblox made it worse by implementing age verification through a government surveillance contractor. And if you don't know what Roblox's age verification is actually about, check my previous video. I explained what Persona does and the source code of Persona, what it actually does and what it says. So check that out if you don't know. So here's a thing. Verify and you're a surveillance state. Don't verify and you're negligent. Parental controls exist on Roblox, okay? Screen time limits, user blocking, game restrictions, the ability to turn off chatting entirely. These tools are there. Not perfect, not a complete solution. Yes, but there. And some of the people filing these lawsuits never once opened the parental settings on an app their kid was using for hours every day. That's not a small detail. And let's not sugarcoat things. Yes, Roblox is at fault. Yes, but parents are also at fault, maybe even greater than Roblox. So let's not sugarcoat the truth, okay? Both are at fault. As a parent, you should supervise your kid. You should never let him go outside to meet some stranger. Like, what? Are you serious? When a kid gets hurt through an online platform, the framing is always the platform failed, and sometimes that's genuinely true. There are real negligence cases where documented red flags got ignored and stricter systems would have changed the outcome. But sometimes the actual story is a child had unrestricted access to a global social platform for years and eventually encountered someone dangerous. suspicious. And the lawsuit just quietly skips the first half of that sentence. Giorgio's investigation is actually more interesting to me than the civil lawsuit, because demanding internal documents means going on a proper fishing expedition. And look, the most dangerous thing on their list is Roblox's marketing materials, specifically anything used to sell the platform as safe for children. If Georgia can show that Roblox's public messaging made safety promises that their own internal communications prove they knew were hollow, that stops being a negligence argument and starts approaching fraud. Florida went down a nearly identical road with their subpoena and ended up triggering a criminal investigation. Georgia, following the same playbook, is not a comfortable position for a company already fighting legal battles across multiple states and even multiple countries. And look, 144 million daily active users, 35 billion engagement hours, nearly $5 billion in annual revenue. The company is not struggling. The argument that meaningful safety upgrades are somehow too costly becomes very difficult to make with those numbers on the table. And I mean proper safety upgrades, proper safety checks, not age verification with a company like Persona that is simply too extremely suspicious. But somewhere between quote, Roblox needs real accountability and quote, Roblox is responsible for everything that happens to every child online unquote, there is a conversation about parental supervision that nobody filing these lawsuits wants to have. And until that's part of the discussion, we're just going to keep watching governments sue a gaming company while kids with no parental controls and no supervision keep doing the exact same thing on whatever comes next. Drop your thoughts below. See ya.